Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mind, Money and Mess and all the shit in between. Don't forget also before we get going that if you like our podcast and you're liking what we're doing, make sure you like, share on all the handles. We'll post below. But welcome to episode 2. Episode 2 is starting Acqua Lounge and what no one told us. If we could start again tomorrow, we would definitely not do it the same way. No. We'll definitely do it differently.
Yeah, it's been a great journey, and when we say we definitely wouldn't do it the same way, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I think
you learn things along the way.
100%, you learn a lot of things along the way. So, in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the shit that we didn't get right. So we're going to go through stuff like that, and we'll. A little bit about our journey, about how Sarah and I achieved and the stuff that we had to do. One reminder before we get into these episode is that everything that you see on the platforms is in one take. We don't.
There's no editing.
So if we pause or make a mistake, we're just going to keep going. And the reason for that is because
that's life.
Us. Yeah, it's us. There's no edits, there's no redos in business. So why should we have a redo in a video? So we're just going to keep going.
If we fuck it up, you're going to hear it along the way.
See it, and you might see some cross-eyed and my wife getting upset at me or something. And if you do see a random head pop up, our dog Gigi is floating around in the background because she's a big part of our family. But from the beginning,
why we started Acqua Lounge?
Yeah, so Sarah and I were quite fortunate that we worked at the same salon before, not different locations, sorry, same brand. So we were high school sweethearts and stuff that we met, we discussed in our previous episode. But the main reason why we started Acqua Lounge is that we felt that there was a gap in the industry that we could just capitalize on. Not saying that we could do anything better or anything worse. We just found that there was a spot that we thought, you know what, why can't we do what other people do, like basically in the city, in a suburb.
In the suburbs. Yeah.
And we just felt that we're everyday suburb people, and we thought, why not do that for other people? So we were trained well. We were always into education, and we thought, let's just bring that back to the suburbs so we can enhance that.
And also, when you're 23, you have no worries. You just think, let's just do it. Let's give it a go.
Yeah, so we were at a stage of our life that it was tricky because we were both living at home.
Yeah.
We didn't have money. We didn't save for this and go, hey, let's open up a salon one day. We just did it. And, 18 years ago, it was, to be fair, it was a lot easier to borrow money. It was easier to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, definitely.
And, we've had our brand now for 18 years. We moved it 8 years ago, and that was a whole nother challenge that we touched base as well. But we were lucky.
But we were also lucky we were at a stage where we didn't own a house at that point in time. So we had no financial worries in that case. Clearly no kids that we know of at 23.
Kids ourselves, yeah.
So we didn't have those financial worries to worry about when we were starting off.
And our experience level was quite low. So we did go in quite blind, which is something that
risky.
Yeah, we're happy to share with you guys, because I think that's a big problem in business, is that people do go in blind, and the expectation that it's all going to work out and everything's going to happen and go into line is something that I think a lot of people assume that will happen. Even for us, we did the exact same thing. And there's Gigi. And it wasn't the case. We really learnt the hard way, and we were very fortunate that we had parents and friends and everyone around us to kind of, to support us in a way that it could have gone wrong. So, but luckily for us, there was more rights than wrongs, but there was definitely some wrongs, and we're definitely going to get into that with us now. So I'll let you go.
Well, what we thought running a salon would be like, I guess when you're 23, you think it's going to be easy. You think you just rock up, you do hair, you service clients.
That's it.
You pay your bills and that's it. I think when you're first starting out, you don't really think of the in-depth of what a business actually is and what's involved. You just think of just rocking up, doing it, and that's it.
no one appreciates the behind the scenes stuff, and I don't think we did either.
No.
Working for another salon when we were hairdressing, you just think, well, I rock up, I do clients, I can do the order, I can and do that, and we were probably very naive about
what actually happens behind
and I just don't
scenes.
think anyone talks about that enough. The things that can go wrong, or things that will go, or something so minor, like even to like, what coffees and teas are you going to supply? Is that within your budget? How frequently are you ordering? Do you have policies and procedures in place? Do you have the right staff? Do you have the right environment? Do you have the right product that represents your brand? These are the things that we didn't know. We just opened up and hoped for the best. But cutting and colouring and servicing the clients was the easy part.
Easy.
We're taught that. We know how to do that. We know how to communicate. But that doesn't mean you make money.
No.
So, and we did learn that, quite trickily.
So let's get into the nitty and gritty of stuff.
That's right. So
what it actually cost us to start up. This is the fun part at 23.
Yes. So we were lucky that my father, I guess, just kind of helped us a little bit with the bank loan. Like he just kind of guaranteed it a little bit for us. And I think we borrowed,
it was roughly around 80,000.
80,000, which, in 2007. It was, it's a decent amount of money. Do you know what I mean?
Especially at 23.
Yeah. So we borrowed 80,000. We spent a lot.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
Keeping in mind, roughly 30,000 of that we kept aside
for cash flow.
Yeah.
So just to
make sure we had the money, because as we started up, it was only us two.
Yes.
And then it wasn't soon after we employed a part-timer who kind of helped us get it off. We were also very fortunate that on both sides, but my side we had my dad, my uncle, my brother, who are all in the trades industry.
Yeah, my father being a builder as well.
So a lot of the costs of setting up the salon, the building of the salon, the plumbing, all that side of stuff, we were able to do it a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
We had the help.
That's $80,000 at basically cost price of setting up a brand of just the construction side of things. And then, back then there was a lot that we had to buy everything. We didn't have, we had the shop we went into was a shell. That was it. So we designed.
And when you're first starting out, today's a little bit different, but when we were first starting out, a lot of the big colour companies wouldn't look at you.
No.
You weren't big enough. You had no clientele. You had nothing. So you had to start with a smaller brand. We were very lucky that
we had a few people vouch for us in the industry to say, look, let's give them an opportunity to, use a bigger brand. So one advice from all that is, guys, be friends with people in the industry.
Yes. Never, even when you leave somewhere, never leave on bad terms. Never cross ties with someone, because you never know who could be your rep one day, who could
be representing you as well.
I
think that's one thing that we learned. Fortunately, that we like to think that we've kept a lot of friends in the industry, and when we had to lean on them when we opened up our business, we got nothing but great advice and great sponsorship in a way to make sure that everything that we were doing was going on the right track. But you got to think, just in keeping in mind that 80,000 that we started the business with 8 years ago, when we relocated the salon only 900 meters down the road, that cost us, from memory, at least about 150 to 200,000 to move it. So you got to think,
because you got to think you're redoing all the plumbing, everything again.
That's
starting
how big
from scratch.
Things can change. You know what I mean? And we went from 80,000 to close to 200 just by relative.
Two, we knew so much more this time round going on how to set things up, so we weren't double handling along the way.
Yeah. So, but financials can be very, very tricky. So, like, that was just the startup cost. We had the cash flow. We were very lucky that our accountant said, look, make sure you've got money in your bank account to pay bills, to pay your electricity, to pay your rent, to pay everything. So we made sure and even to today, we still like to operate that if we didn't make $1 for 1 month,
we can still pay
everybody.
That's
how much money we have, which is something my accountant still gets upset at me sometimes. It's like, I like to call myself an old school European
A wog.
A wog.
You like to call yourself a wog.
Keep it the cash just to make sure. But it's mainly because I freak out. You know, we're the last people that get paid.
I don't freak out. Not at all.
Freak out.
Anthony freaks
so
out.
I need to make sure that you have enough money to make sure your staff, your suppliers, you know,
everyone else is paid.
Everyone's going to get paid. You know, everyone thinks that as an owner you get paid first. No, we get paid last. Do you know what I mean? So that's one thing that we look at. Yeah. Probably another thing, touching base on finances, was one thing that we struggled with was underpricing ourselves.
But just going to butt in. As we speak along the way here, if there is anything that touches with you that you want to know more on, please write them down and then send us a DM or email. I can put our email link, send everything through, and we can help you out wherever the best we can.
Yeah. So ours is all based on experiences, is what this is about. But I think one of the things that we learned, that we were busy.
Like, we were busy.
At the beginning.
We were very lucky. We started off very well. Opening up in November.
Yeah, in a
right before Christmas.
Like a local shopping centre, yeah.
Could have been a hit and a miss.
But we were lucky that we were a bit more of a hit. But that didn't mean that we made money. No, I think one of the biggest things that we did was probably underprice ourselves, which I think a lot of people, maybe not as much as this generation coming through, which is good. I think that's really great.
Because you value yourself a lot more.
We're afraid to value ourselves. I think, you know, we're 23. I'd only been qualified for a small amount of time, but we just thought, the best way to get into the market was to lower our pricing, which unfortunately sets up a bit of a bad trend for business along the way. Yeah,
and for moving forward.
Yeah, it's hard to start low and then 5 years down the track go, oh, wow, we're 20 or 30% off the margin for people of our skill set. So, let's just boost up the price. You can't do that. That's
not dramatically. Fair. And you know what? It's great being busy, but it's not great being busy when you're not profitable.
No.
So that's something that we would probably definitely say to someone starting out, set your standard.
Know your pricing.
Yeah.
Know how expensive it is to...
do your research.
Yeah.
See what's out there.
Like, I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to numbers. Like, I have a spreadsheet which I can share.
He's a big nerd.
Yeah, one day. And my staff will be like, oh my God, this spreadsheet, we see it all the time. And I basically know every month where the dollar goes. So I can tell you how much.
He knows where it goes because I spend it.
Yeah, I can tell you how much. I know how much the dollar runs per day. I know how much that is, right? But I didn't learn that from the beginning. That took
time.
So if I knew that from the beginning, I could have known how better to structure our pricing. But we just went in going, the salon down the road, they charge $40 for this. So let's charge $35. And you think, what's $5? But that $5 is compounded by how many services you do. That $5 is a lot of money. And we, so then all of a sudden you're like, wow, we're really busy. But you're only busy because you're cheaper. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're busy because you're better than everyone else. So I think that's where something that
we probably did wrong at the start.
Wrong with that part is that we probably undervalued ourselves. And then when it came to paying bills and paying rent, because no one gave us cheaper prices because we were younger or inexperienced. Do you know what I mean? So that's, if you take anything from today, is know your worth, guys. Yeah. We didn't know our worth.
No, it took us time.
And that's something that we'd share with our staff all the time.
But that also flows into like other things we got wrong.
Starting to work out we've got a lot of things wrong.
Simple as not having systems in place. Like when we did eventually start hiring staff, there were certain things we didn't have in place, simple things like holidays.
Yeah, we had no idea.
We didn't have holiday forms. We didn't have sick leave forms. We didn't have any of that.
No.
We were just like, yeah, you can take holidays. Yeah, you can do this. We didn't, and nothing like, not as in the staff took advantage or anything, nothing like that at all.
We didn't have any procedures.
It's just we didn't have any procedures because you're 23, didn't think about it.
And I think sometimes when you're a young owner, you want to be more friendly with your staff because you're like, well, I can relate a bit more to them, so I'm going to let things be a bit more casual. But you're just setting yourself up to play catch up down the road. And then everyone needs structure. Do you know what I mean? So there has to be something in line just to, because then everyone just knows what everyone is doing.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem that I faced with was that our brand, we didn't know how to identify our brand.
No.
I think that was the biggest thing. We didn't.
It took us a little while to work out what our brand was for us.
What Acqua Lounge was.
Yeah. And what we wanted it to be.
Correct. Which is funny now. I showcase that. I teach that now with other salons, that know your community, know what's around you, know what business have been around sustainable for a long time. Like, know if you've got restaurants or fast food, and
not just your own industry,
just know what's around you, and you can work out pretty quickly. Like, do you have a lot more private schools? Do you have a lot more public schools? Do you have more fast food and restaurants? And you can start working out your demographic very quickly. There's a lot of sporting clubs around. Do people care about you being part of the community more than just putting on an ad on TV or something like that? And we found where we are now in the western suburbs, people want to be surrounded by real people.
They want to feel part of a community.
Yeah, so
which is what we've built.
Yeah, so we actually became a part of the community. We stopped doing general advertising and started, sponsoring events.
Yeah,
being with community events, doing the world's greatest shave, and then with that, it made it easier to know what type of staff to hire.
So that's where it comes back down to having your systems in place.
Correct.
Knowing your systems.
Once we knew our identity, we could hire people that
fit our brand.
And then it made everyone get along. Like the team we have now, and very fortunate, all the teams we've had.
We've been very lucky.
We're very lucky that everyone gets along, but then we shouldn't say luck. We that's what we hire. We try to make personalities match. So
I suppose another one is knowing your boundaries with clients.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good.
We've been pretty good. I do feel the generation coming through now probably needs to know that a little bit more. Only because I feel we grew up feeling old saying this with no social media, really.
Yeah.
So clients didn't get to see you on a personal level. They only heard what you said when you came in, where today I think with social media, clients can really, if they follow you and that, they can really see what you're about. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't express everything with clients, but I do feel you need to have your boundaries. Like I'm personally very personal with my social media. So my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram is on private. And the clients that I do have are probably the clients that have actually known me. Yeah. There's one that's known me 23 years. She's known me my whole hairdressing career. She's not a client anymore. She's family.
Yeah.
So they're the clients that you've built that relationship. They probably came to our wedding. They've come and seen our kids being born. So there's clients along the way that they'll just follow my version of me on Acqua Lounge, and they see our kids when we post their birthdays and that on Acqua Lounge. So I feel with the social media thing, that's a big thing today with clients, just having that boundary of, if you want to go out on the weekend and get smashed and have fun and
do what
you got to do. We didn't have video evidence back then. No one knew what we got up to. But now, obviously, there's social media, you do. So just knowing those boundaries, keeping those boundaries between you and the client, so the client just knows that when it is time just to be a client not.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that. You can't open up your life to them. It's just about relationships build.
Yes.
And I think that's something that we educate
and you slowly
our staff,
build that.
Is that remember that
the client will judge you.
Yes. Well, everyone will judge you.
Everyone judges.
We're a very,
we're human beings. We all judge.
That's judge. But it's easier for someone to judge you or understand something when they've got to know you. So remember, if you open up your personal life straight off the bat, you're giving people the opportunity to make a judgment on you, which may not be fair. Do you know what I mean? And look, for me, I tell anyone that's in our salon, everyone knows my whole life because
he's terrible.
I'm not a gossiper, but I just like.
He'll also take your story and put a spin on it and make it his.
The amount of shit that I've done that I haven't done. So if anyone that's listening to this client will say, look, I thought you did climb Mount Everest. No, I didn't. There was someone else's story that I took and made it my own. But that's what we do. Do you know what I mean? So, but it's one of those things. So.
All right. So, question M. What's something that I did early on that drove you crazy? Be careful how you answer this.
Everything was great.
Well, I'll go first.
Yeah, please, because I feel like you can.
For me, something which I don't know if we touched on last time is that Anthony does suffer from OCD and anxiety. I am the complete opposite.
Yep.
So for me, I suppose something that drove me crazy was his OCD and the anxiety side. Like I said, me not having it, not understanding it from a young age, was him constantly checking things and redoing things and self-doubt, and there was many times I wanted to kill him. I think once we did get married, there was many times we were going to divorce. So that was probably for me one thing that drove me crazy.
Probably you not understanding. No, it's good. I don't know. I think, and this is going to sound really mean when I say this, and it's not about you. I think we have different priorities. And
100%.
what I mean by that is obviously Sarah, like obviously I'm a father and Sarah's a mother sometimes. And I'm not saying I'm even right and I'm probably wrong in saying this, that sometimes.
No, but it's your opinion.
I put the business
first. And I would put motherhood first.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's where we clash. And that it's fine. And I know saying that out now loud.
And now just remember we are two fiery people. So when we clash, we clash.
So sometimes I'm like, can we just do this for the shop for 2 seconds? Like, no, I've got my kids that I need to sort out and do that. So it's good in a way because it balances, but that's probably the only
Another thing, what mistake would you never repeat?
The biggest mistake that I learned was trusting people on their words, on their face value. And I don't mean and that's not a staff thing, that's more of a business thing. Because I was so young, some people would say, hey, I'm going to do this.
X.
Like, if you spend $1,500 on this advertising, I'm going to guarantee you X, right? And I'd go, oh, okay. No, it's because you're the professional in this scenario. I'm going to believe you. And I think, and I'll admit, that cost us a bit of money because I gave people too much face value. And then I learned very quickly after that, everything needs to be in writing. And I think that was something that I learned. And fortunately, because of the cash flow that we had, we're
able to manage it.
But I remember, I think I made a deal with an advertising company and they're like, we'll get you this. I got fuck all. Like nothing. I don't even know why. I look at it now. You get those people ringing you up. If you spend this, we'll put your business on a billboard thing somewhere.
Back then it was the advertiser, the newspaper.
Receipt or something. Oh my God, that sounds great. Yeah, you might get 20,000 people that view it, but
let's be honest, who looks at their dockets?
Someone's going to throw it in the bin. And you take that. But that's experience. That's inexperience. But what I learned was don't. What about you? What's a mistake you never repeat?
A mistake I would probably not repeat if I started again now would be not undervaluing my worth. Yeah. Like knowing what I'm worth and just setting that standard and just doing it. And not being ashamed to charge for my worth and my experience and my knowledge. And I'm not saying as in my experience, as in because I've been hairdressing 23 years, because there's some people, we've got staff that have been hairdressing 6 years that still teach me stuff because we've learned different eras, we've learned different ways. But just knowing like what I know and charging for that's probably one thing.
Which is something I think the up and coming generation does a lot better than us. And I have to congratulate you guys on that. And I think that even our staff,
because you just set your worth and you go with it.
Like we teach our staff to know your worth, and that doesn't mean just mean by charging, but that also means on just the respect that
the way you're treated.
Yeah, like this year alone, I've already asked 2 clients not to return because I just didn't like the way they spoke to our staff. Yeah. And I think
that, just don't be afraid that if someone doesn't fit your shop, to keep them just because they're a paying client. Because once they're in, not only do they make your staff member miserable or the worker, whoever you've got, whatever industry you're in, but then that trickles through because then that staff member is miserable while they're doing their service. Then they're going to speak to another staff member, which then relies onto them. And then it comes back to you. And then at the end of the day, remember, you're the head. So it's not your staff member's problem to deal with clients like that. That's our problem.
Correct.
Because we've allowed that client into our shop. So really, we probably started this a couple of years ago where if someone doesn't fit our shop, they're not worth the money. No. And not in a bad way. Then they may not be a bad person, not saying anything about them as a person.
No, not at all.
They just don't fit who we are. So there's going to be another salon or another coffee shop or another massage place or beauty place or whatever industry is, there's going to be someone else for them.
There's enough to go around.
Yes.
And I think once you learn that, but it's hard to find the staff to go around. So you, like Sarah said, you need to be a pillar. You need to stand in front of your team and say, "Good guys, we can take care of this gentleman for you." But probably one of the biggest challenges, though.
So building a business as a couple.
Yeah,
it's great.
Look, I think we do it right. I wouldn't do it without it. I don't think I could do it without it.
I think it works both ways in the situation we're in now with having kids and that. Like, there is no way I could run a salon and have our boys do exactly what they do if Anthony worked the exact same amount of hours in a different industry or something. It just wouldn't work. It works for us because obviously we're both in the same industry.
Yeah, correct.
Obviously, like, Anthony works Saturdays, I don't, so I can do the driving around. He does the nights, I don't, so I can do the driving. So I can pay him.
Yeah.
It's great for Anthony. I always tell him it'd be easier to work full time than do all the driving around. But look, I love my boys and I wouldn't change it for the world. And I always say, like we always say, they're only little once. You know, this year they're going to be 13 and 14. So, you know, they're getting older. They're both in high school now. So I wouldn't change that for a world. I look at it as I can go back to full time. I can go back to doing those Saturdays when they don't need me, when they're driving, when they're doing stuff like that. But I think the challenges of working together maybe initially was the take home, because you think with hairdressing there's not a lot of stuff to take home, but there is when you're owning the business. Yeah. Because, you know, you take your bookwork home, you do that. So I suppose it was building those lines of...
And it's hard to build boundaries. I don't know, people are like, oh, we can build boundaries. We do switch off, but we don't, because I could have an idea and that could lead into a discussion. And I know, and as, you know, again, like someone that suffers the OCD like I do, I can't switch that shit off. Like, you know... I
can switch off very easily.
I can't, you know, like, so it's constant. Yeah. And I got a Wog uncle, Uncle Peter. Yeah, the Wog uncles.
They're not your uncle, but they're your uncle.
Yeah, they're Uncle Party Pete. And he said to me, and I never realised this straight away, that hairdressing, and I know other businesses will be the same, but I can only vouch for hairdressing because we're in it. It's not a job; it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
And I never really understood what that meant.
And it's a family.
Yeah,
you're with each other.
And then once we started opening up our business and you get to meet people and bring it home, it doesn't turn off. You know what I mean? And
if there is anyone that is watching or listening that you're not a hairdresser, but you are dating a hairdresser, whether you're the male and your like whoever you are and your partner's the hairdresser, just know they're not the only ones that are staying back doing those extra hours or staying back to do each other's hair, or there's hair shows, or there's conferences, or there's weekend stuff. Yeah. That's normal.
And you can.
That's part of hairdressing. Yeah. Hairdressing is a job where you have to connect.
You have to connect. Yeah, and you want to connect. Like, it comes an addiction of connecting with your
peers.
Yeah, it is.
And I know it happens in other industries as well.
But we are, you know, we are a dysfunctional family. Like, we're the mum and dads of our.
We've actually hit that age bracket where.
Well, literally half our staff, we actually could
be their parents.
Be their parents at an age, you know. Like, it's funny.
And you know what? I love them like they're my kids.
Yeah, 100%. I'll do anything for our team. They're amazing. And it's funny when we do have a little disagreement.
But talking about that is one thing is, I've always said to Anthony from day dot, we don't argue, we don't disagree, we don't do anything in front of the staff. That's one thing I set in stone.
We might do a little bicker.
And in a fun way.
Yeah, it's fun for you.
No, but
and they're like, one thing, mum and dad are fighting. Nah.
One thing I've always said is no one likes to hear their parents argue.
Nah.
No one wants to see their mum and dad argue, or whoever it is at home argue. You know, so it's the same at work. You don't want to hear, and, you know, I say it to my staff, there are days where we go into work and I absolutely want to throttle him, kill him. And I can walk through that door and I can put a smile on my face and we work the whole day together and we get home and then he goes to talk to me and I said, no, hold up. This is wife Sarah again.
Yeah, let's stop things.
I don't like you anymore, so we go back to not talking.
So then I think everything's fine. I'm like, hey, honey, and then, you know.
So as owners, that's one thing. If you do work together, keep your personal life out. When you walk through that door, your staff, your clients, whatever you're doing, they don't want to hear your problems.
No.
But then on the other foot, I also say it for staff. When you walk through that door, whether you're crying 2 minutes before, wipe those tears away, put that smile on, because there's a client that could sit in, and it's happened to us before. There's a client that sat in our chair when we've had a bad day and they've turned around and gone, I've just been diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go, shit, I want to kill him, but he's actually not that bad now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Puts so just perspective.
Yeah. So just remember, as owners and as staff, that when you walk through that door, whatever door it is, you put your smile on your face, you leave your problems outside, and you deal with them again at 5:30 or whenever it is that you knock off at work.
Yeah.
And go with that. But that was my biggest thing, is being husband and wife, or like partners, boyfriend, girlfriend, when we first started, is never argue in front of the staff. Never make them feel uncomfortable to come to work.
So I guess to recap before we go to the next bit, we were young when we started.
You're saying we're old now?
I'm 40.
You're 41.
41, turning 42. I'm young. You're old compared to our staff, and some of them, like, I don't understand. The TikToks and the Insta face, whatever you guys do now. And then the mistakes are going to happen. We should call them setbacks, not mistakes.
Not mistakes.
And ours, on a personal thing, were inexperience, taking things for face value and not doing our own research.
Yeah.
Not knowing our community and not knowing our brand, and not having policies and procedures in place to reflect that. I think if you had to recap our setbacks and where we went wrong and how they cost us money, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And I know you guys are thinking, oh, that's not that bad. And I'm like, it's not, when there's a lot of little things. But if you
put them all together,
it could, yeah. And I can say that if we weren't doing it together, if we didn't have, I know they say that money can fix a lot of problems, but this is one of those ones that it helped us. So cash flow was the king.
What made it work for us? So setting clear roles from the word go. Anthony always took the business side in the sense of handling the bookwork, stuff like that. I took the staff side, so we had two separate roles. Yes, obviously we talked, we discussed.
Yeah.
We always crossed with each other. But
I think it's easier. So I need to be managed. Even now, because I'll babble on this, so we'll just make sure they come on and play this.
So if you see me go like this, that's generally
so that's not to you. That's come on, let's get this shit going.
That's not my fingers getting tired.
I guess for managerial purposes, for me, I think knowing your staff is the best way to learn how to, help them grow and help them manage. And I think, like it or not, you need to get to know them personally. That's something that we like to do.
Yeah.
Know what they want, and doesn't. And I don't mean by as in hairdressing. Just know what they want in life, and then you can help them achieve that. And remember something: not every client's the same. Not every color you do is the same. Not every formula you create is the same. Yeah. So why would you think that your staff are the same? You need to learn how to speak to staff members differently. I call it the blanket rule. There's no such thing as you can have a subheading, and then that needs to go into different brackets. So the way I speak to one is the way I speak to the other. And the same with me. I'll have a different relationship with each one. The relationship is equal, but you need to know how to communicate with your staff and get the best.
And I think too, we had the same vision. So that's what made it work for us, is that our vision for what we wanted for the salon was the same. I think if you go into partnership with someone, whether it's like a business partner or a life partner, you have to have the same vision. If you don't have the same visions going in, it won't work.
No.
You need to be on the same page. Also learning to separate marriage from management, knowing that our personal life is our personal life and work was work. And I think we do tend to find that when we are at work, we don't discuss our personal life too much, not in depth.
No,
we'll discuss the little things, like the kids and that. We'll have conversations. And look, the staff, and then we have it. Sometimes the staff get involved in our conversations about our personal life.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, but we don't go in depth about it.
No.
So I think they're the things that made it work, is knowing that we had separate roles.
Yeah.
We didn't cross those roles. So he took one role, I took the other. Respecting each other's strengths, knowing what his strong points were. And obviously Anthony's strong points, having that little bit of uni. Anthony is very book smart. I would say I'm not super. I'd say I'm more street smart in that sense. So that's why we we found that was our strengths. You handle the business side, I handle the staff side. Just because I think I probably understood the staff a little bit more, where Anthony was a little bit more straight. So if something happened, he'd be like, oh, why did that happen? Where I'm like, well, hang on a second. Before we make accusations or anything, let's just ask why did it happen. Let's find
numbers don't have emotions.
Yes.
That's how I would look at it. I looked at a number and I'm like, it's just a number.
Yeah.
Like, why? But it worked together. We actually managed it together. But I got a question.
Yeah.
This one could go anyway. Was there a point that you thought that this is too much?
As in the business?
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think I've ever thought it was.
Well, I'm hoping not our marriage. Jesus Christ. This is a different type of podcast if we're going on that one.
That's episode 3.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say I never thought it was too much. There was probably a point questioning whether I wanted to continue with the business, and that was one when we had the kids, because obviously having our boys close together, they were 17 months apart. I was home a lot with them. I'm not someone that can sit inside in 4 walls very easily. So I suppose having that time off with the boys, which I loved, don't get me wrong, did make me question, because obviously Anthony took on more hours with me not being there. So having you at the shop more and that. And then, you have your times where you go through a period of maybe a couple of staff leaving at one point and you just think, what do I do this for?
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all done it.
Yeah.
You have your week of questioning of, should we sell it? Should we do this? Should we do that?
Yeah.
And then you get over that emotion a week later and you go, oh, well, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd ever say, yes, it was definitely too much. But yeah, look, I think it's with anything.
Yeah.
You do question at points. What about yourself?
COVID.
Yeah, that was
COVID killed me a bit.
That did kill him. I've only ever seen Anthony cry, I think, once, and that was on our wedding day. Yeah. You had tears? Not cried, but as in you had tears?
Yeah, I'm not wailing.
No.
It's only because you were so beautiful.
Or it was because he knew his life was over.
I do.
But he did come home one night.
Yeah, I did. I was worried. And the staff that are still, which a lot of them are still with us now, will remember. Because we had to put in, I think, we didn't get any government stuff from COVID because we stayed open. We were still capable of staying open.
We were lucky.
We were lucky in a way. And we spoke to our staff and they were like, look, we would prefer to come to work because they didn't want to be at home. And I said, okay, we'll do this together. And I remember it got really scary and we were losing, well, not losing, we were getting cancellations left, right and centre. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously no one knew what was happening. And we had to put in...
That's just our son who's homesick today. He's popped in.
We had to put in about $40,000 of our own money. And which wasn't... Obviously, that was shit, but that was in the worst part. The worst part was not being able to give our staff an answer of what was going to happen. And I reckon that broke me a bit. I don't have to say it like that. I remember sitting there at the basin area and saying to guys, look, we're going to just do the best we can, and I don't know what's going to hold. But one thing I'll say to our amazing staff in that period, and in every period, but especially that period, thank you.
Yeah. For still supporting us.
Yeah. Like, you want to know if your team's got your back? That was
go through something like that.
Far out, man. Like, we were there for them, but they were definitely there for us. So
yeah.
Appreciate that one.
All right. So, some fun facts. Quick fun facts.
I don't know. What do you got?
The hardest part about opening a salon was?
Hardest part about opening a salon?
And quick answers.
Let's not babble. Shit, this is like a...
this is shoot 'em. Quick, go.
Everything was hard. Nothing was easy, I don't think.
I wish someone had warned me about.
How expensive shit was going to be.
The biggest myth about owning a salon.
That you have all the time in the world and then you work for yourself. I think for me, the biggest myth was that you work for yourself and you make a shitload of money. Yeah.
Not at the start. I don't think you ever make a shitload of money.
Enjoyable. We don't regret it. Like, I love it. Yeah.
What's one thing you're proudest of with having the salon?
I'm proud that the proudest thing I can say is that can I say two things?
All right, quickly.
Is that A, you're teaching people and we've been able to watch our staff grow into beautiful people.
Yeah.
2, I get great satisfaction in servicing the community and having a response. Like I love the fact that I can go to our local, like West Lakes, our shopping centre, and they're like, "Hi, Anth," and everyone like, it's nice to know that people. It's a good feeling respected.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we've achieved as a group,
Yeah.
and that's probably one of the best things I love about owning a business.
I think for me, and this is going to be complete way out of left field, the proudest thing I'm of is, I suppose for me, when I was in year 12 and I was finishing year 12 and I'd just gotten my hairdressing apprenticeship in term 4, so I had like 2 weeks of school left. And one of my teachers in year 12 told me that I was basically going to achieve nothing in life becoming a hairdresser. I was just another statistic.
Yes,
and
sucked in.
That's it. So I suppose for me, my proudest thing is that 23 years later of being a hairdresser, but 18 years later that I succeeded. I did a business, and
so you started a business on spite.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just to prove her wrong.
Just to prove her wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the trick. Maybe she did it on purpose knowing that you would do it. So that was like.
So for me, that's probably my proudest thing about starting a business, is just proving that for me, hairdressing wasn't just hairdressing. There is a life, a career. There's something to it where hairdressing back then was just a statistic. You didn't want to finish school or you just didn't know what to do, you became a hairdresser. So I think that was my proudest moment. True. Before we wrap it up, anything you want to...
I could say what's something that, like, in a nutshell, I don't think that we're successful. I know that sounds pretty harsh. I think successful is an ending for me. So I think that when you say you're successful, it means you've achieved and then you're done.
And you're done.
I think we're on a path.
We're still succeeding.
Yeah, we're on a path to success. And I think one of the main reasons for that is not because we did everything right. By God, we didn't do everything right. We did a lot of things wrong. More things right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take that away from us because we're good. But I think the main thing is that we didn't grow because we were good. We grew because we didn't quit.
Yeah.
And I think that is the biggest thing, guys, is that.
And I think that's what it is. Acqua Lounge, it's not perfect.
No.
But we don't quit on it.
No. And I think that's what makes us, because we're imperfectly perfect. That's a quote. I'm going to get that made as a t-shirt. Not really, no. So just remember, if you are in the middle of that messy period of a business, don't quit. Yeah. Just keep going. Yeah. There is sun on the other side of it. And talk to people.
Yeah.
Talk to your peers, talk to your staff, talk to your family.
Yeah.
Talk to other people. This is what this platform is all about.
And not even in your own industry. Get outside your industry sometimes. Yeah. Talk to other people, because you might be 2 different industries. One could be a hairdressing salon, one could be a mechanic. But at the end of the day, you're both running a business. Yeah. You're both running staff. There's just different goals. Yeah. But you're both going through the same thing. And it's funny, you may learn just something from speaking to that person that you can go, well, I can relate it to this and do it that way.
You learn more from your setbacks. Remember, being successful is something that you don't expect that it should just come naturally. Yeah. Like, you wake up every day and go, no one wakes up every day and goes, what am I going to fuck up today? You know what I mean? If you do, then hopefully chat to someone about that. But do you know what I mean? Like, I don't wake up saying, what can I achieve today? I assume, and call it arrogance or whatever you want to call it, but I just assume that we're going to achieve today. Yeah. Now, do I learn from my achievements? Yeah, minimal, I have to admit.
But you'll learn more.
Do you learn from your setbacks? Yeah. And then don't be embarrassed about your setbacks. If you share them with other people, which is what this platform's about, if there's comfort in knowing that someone else has had a very similar scenario in your setbacks, you know what I mean? And I think once you praise those setbacks and discuss it with other people, man, the capability of your growth is...
And you know what? Even when you wake up in the morning, if you're one of these people that likes to write things down, maybe write down 3 things that you want to achieve in that day. And you know what? If you achieve one of them, you're winning. If you don't achieve any of them, because, shit hits the fan. Shit happens. Life isn't always perfect. Think of it as, you didn't fail. Just set those 3 things for tomorrow again and try to achieve one of them. So, you're slowly improving little by little.
That's right. I think that's it. So next up-and-coming episode, you'll see us chatting to a few other different people. So
we got some guest people coming on.
Yep. We've had on our pages, we've put out a thing of some things that you would like to know. Like we've chucked it out to you guys. So any funny stories, any other things you want us to discuss. We've got, obviously, we've
had some stuff coming through.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep going, whatever you guys want to hear. Thank you again.
So we do have a guest speaker next time. I will not say much about it now, but I'll leave a little thing throughout the week. I'll post something about it. But once again, thank you for listening. Remember, follow us on Instagram, on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube. I don't know, all of them. You have to be on these days.
Yeah.
I will post all the handles, but thank you for listening to Mind, Money and Mess and all the shit in between. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
See you,
guys.